Tell me, did you watch?
The awesomeness is interrupted by Meg Sheary, who bursts in and twitters on about how she hoped the Phantom really enjoyed her performance, which of course he didn't watch.
I mean, I can change a thing or two. What should I do?
It's actually quite sad as she tries to coax some sort of tiny compliment out of him. Poor Meg.
Did the costume look okay? Too revealing, would you say? People seem to like the view.
Meg, please.
I could show a bit more skin. That would surely bring 'em in.
Can't you see that the master's at work?
Now here we get the first big rant off Madame Giry.
A success means naught, I guess, compared to the things that the master must do.
That's quite enough!
Christine! Christine!
Christine! At this point, Madame Giry tears back the curtain on the Christine Bots display cabinet and breaks its arm. So we're left with this really fake wooden Christine doll with a dangly broken arm. I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but I laughed.
And who stayed with you, helped you and advised you? We stayed with you, loved and idolized you. She betrayed you, shunned you and despised you.
Now, I can't believe that the Phantom that we all know and love would actually sit there and take this big-ass lecture off Giry for 2.5 minutes, yes, I timed it, before he finally says,
Enough!
Just Punjab her ass. This rant's only purpose is to fill the audience in on what happened between Phantom 1 and 2. Basically, Madame Giry and Meg smuggled the Phantom into America, and he was displayed at a freak show, which I don't believe he would have allowed for 1 minute, but anyway. And apparently Madame Giry helped raise all the millions needed to create his dream fairground, Phantasma. And how did she raise all the cash? By pimping out her daughter to politicians and businessmen, of course. What loving mother could do more?
Why would I do such a thing?
Anyway, the Phantom sends a letter to Christine asking her to sing at Phantasma. 3 months later, she turns up and disembarks from the boat in a scene that seems to be lifted right out of Titanic. She has the same big hat and everything. The press go absolutely crazy. And so does Raoul.
Her name is Madame de Chagny. Now stand aside. Stand aside. There are no pictures of my wife. No pictures of the boy.
Oh, hey, Christine, what you gonna sing? Yankee Doodle Moolah?
My wife is an artist, sir.
Yeah, and her art is paying off your gambling debts, is what they're saying in France.
Insult! Jack! How dare you!
Along with them on the journey is Christine's son, Gustav, who is 10 years old. 10 years old! Do I smell a plot device?
Mother, look! Right over there, across the square. What is it?
Now this bit is genuinely cool. This weird mechanical horse and carriage shows up. The horse is transparent, it looks like it's made of glass, and a huge horseman with a shrunken, glow-in-the-dark skeleton's head drives it. Inside are the 3 main freaks of Coley Island. Miss Fleck, played by Neve Perry. Then there's Squelch.
The mighty Squelch.
Oh, sorry, the mighty Squelch.
Dr. Gangle.
At your service.
Now, these guys are really cool, but they're the worst freaks ever. I really wish Lloyd Webber hadn't been so politically correct. Couldn't he have got some real freaks in? You know, like in Todd Browning's Freaks? Where's all the 2-headed people? Where's the bloke with 3 legs? That kind of thing. But no, we have Miss Fleck, who's meant to be half woman, half bird. But all she does is look like a reject from the Rocky Horror Show. Occasionally she wears feathers, but as far as it goes. Squelch looks like Matt Lucas from Little Britain. And I'd say that I'm taller than Dr. Gangle. Short of some shockingly bad metal dentistry, there's nothing that remarkable about him. Anyway, the freaks escort them to their hotel room, which irritates Raoul no end.
What a dreadful town! What a vulgar place! What an awful mistake to have come here!
This rant basically establishes just what a nasty git Raoul is.
Father, please, come play with me.
Please tell the boy the answer's no!
He won't even play with Ickle Gustav. So Raoul goes off in a huff, and Gustav's all upset because Daddy won't play with me anymore.
Doesn't he love me?
Oh, I forgot to mention, Gustav has an awesome voice. When I went to see it, I think I saw the same Gustav who was on the CD. I love his voice. It's so angelic. It reminds me a bit of Alec Jones.
Beautiful, beautiful sounds. Don't you agree?
So then we have this song called Look With Your Heart, which I didn't really like.
So look with your heart and not with your eyes. The heart understands, the heart never lies.
It's like the kind of generic Disney song that you might find in a direct-to-video sequel like Lady and the Tramp 4 or Bambi 6. Could have been out of anything. The lyrics to Love Never Dies are by Glenn Slater and the story's by Ben Elton. Now, I'm quite surprised because Ben Elton co-wrote Blackadder, one of the greatest comedies of all time, and yet there's very little humour in this show. Glenn Slater's previous works are mainly Disney-based, and his lyrics do come off as rather Disney-esque, quite simplistic, sometimes trite. I suppose the best you can say of them is functional. Actually no, the best you can say of them is that Glenn Slater was somehow able to make Raoul rhyme with drunken fool.
It's that idiot Raoul. Why, I'll kill that drunken fool.
My hat's off to you, sir. Nice going. But if you're looking for lyrics with all the wit and intelligence of Richard Stilgoe, or the passion and intensity of Charles Hart, you'll be sadly disappointed. After sending Gustav to bed, Christine looks at this little mechanical Mozart doll on a piano that was in her room. And now it starts to play one of the Phantom's tunes. The window's open, and he's here, the Phantom of the Opera. I swear this Phantom must walk around with a heavy-duty smoke machine up his ass, because whenever he enters a room there's a cloud of dry ice following him. Christine seems genuinely shocked to see him.
I should have known that you'd be here. I should have known it all along.
Well, yes, you should have known, Christine. Didn't the name of the place give it away? Phantasma? No? Didn't ring any alarm bells when an unnamed musician invites you to sing at Phantasma? You know, the clue is in the title. Well, that's Christine for you. Dim as a glowworm's armpit in the original, just as dim in this. Now we have the infamous song, Beneath a Moonless Sky. Never has such a good song been created to shoehorn such a bodged half-assed bridge between two stories. Okay, here's a spoiler. If you don't want to know what the deal is with Gustav, turn away now. But it must be the worst kept secret in the show anyway. So Gustav is really the Phantom's son. But how does that work? The protesters cry. Christine never had sex with the Phantom in the original, so how does Lloyd Webber bridge the problem? Well, apparently sometime after Christine dumped the Phantom, the night before Christine was to marry Raoul.
You came and found where I hid. Don't you deny that you did that long ago night. Once there was a night beneath a moonless sky, too dark to see a thing, too dark to even try.
I stole to your side to tell you I must go. I couldn't see your face, but sensed you even so.
And then one thing leads to another.
And I caught you,
And I kissed you,
and I
and caressed you with a...
Okay, he didn't actually say that, but he might as well have. The sexual symbolism of the lyrics is about as subtle as being run over by a truck of hippos. I think this plot point is what people are really griping about when they complain about the sequel. And for me, it's not so much that I can't believe it happened. It's more the way they just sort of throw it into the story. What also drives me crazy is that, seeing as Christine has now returned to the Phantom and accepted him by shagging his brains out, you'd think the Phantom would think it's his freaking birthday and stick around, since Christine will happily get off with him, as long as it's so dark she can't see his face. So really all he has to do is just get rid of all the candles in his lair and bingo. But no, he leaves Christine because he's ashamed of what he is, or something. I just don't get that, at all. Is he brain dead? And it turns out, if he'd only hung around until the morning, Christine was going to ditch Raoul and swear her love to the Phantom instead. But since he's now done a runner, she has to go back with her Plan B backup plan. Drunk Raoul. So really the implications of all this are that these 10 long years are down to his own dumbassery, which does affect my sympathy for him somewhat. Now, as contrived as this whole backstory is, let's not forget that in the novel Phantom of Manhattan, Christine was impregnated when the Phantom raped her while she was swooning away or something. So take your pick, which one do you like better? At least in Love Never Dies it's consensual and almost romantic sounding. No matter how much you may hate this storyline and song, just take a look at Phantom of Manhattan and remember that it could be a lot worse. I do like the music to this, but it reminds me of something else.
Ashamed of what I was, afraid to see your eyes.
It's never to become, for I am not the one.
I also think the lyrics really let the song down. They just aren't all that good. I could have written it better. So 10 years ago, it seems we got it on. That's what Lloyd Webber said. That's why we have this song.
I came back to you. I'm not sure why I did. It's yet more doubtful still that I knew where you hid. It was black there.
It was dark there.
And I couldn't see you standing there.
If I had known what's up, I'd have lost the candles in my lair.
And I kissed you.
Wait, you did what?
Yes, I kissed you.
Oh, it's scripted.
And it seems we made out then and there.
You'd think that you would feel my face and lack of hair.
But yes, I must confess, I was too drunk to care. Blinded by the dark, a thought occurred to me. If you'd just worn your mask, I'd still not have to see. A paper bag would do. It's far less dangerous than screwing in some barn with livestock watching us.
And I bonked you.
And you groped me.
And I ploughed you.
Anyone who passed by was confused. I think the sounds we made were in the morning news. And I banged you.
And I shagged you.
I humped you.
And we switched positions now and then.
We looked and found some things, or which we each could bend. We made a mockery of the original sad end. But I was horny, so very horny.
And you knew I wouldn't turn you down.
Admitted you were thrilled.
Hey, did you see me frown? When the sun came up, I had a burst of shame. So I abandoned you to cope with all the blame. I ran the hell away. I couldn't deal with this. Recall how much I freaked at just that little kiss.
So you ditched me.
Wait, you ditched me? After everything I did for you, you risked making my life Les Miserables come true. But I loved you.
You're a douchebag.
You left me first, and we should have not shagged at all.
Not at all. There's nothing in the room about sex against a wall.
After that, they reminisce once more in a song called Once Upon Another Time.
It's still that other time. I'd make time itself somehow better.
This is a pretty boring song, or a boring pretty song. It's another one of those Disney-esque love songs that doesn't really achieve much or go anywhere. I must say the sets are pretty cool though. The previous song is set inside this hotel room, but then the set rotates around and the Phantom and Christine sing it on their outer balcony, in front of these weird designs that look like a giant vagina to me. This tender reunion is interrupted by Gustav, who runs in. He's terrified after having a premonition of the finale.
I'm scared. What a dream, an awful dream. Someone strange and mad, seizing me and drowning me.
I see weird people.
Gustav, this is Mr. Y. This place is yours?
Every inch of it. Tell me where you'd like to go. Tell me what you want to see. I can grant any wish.
Could you?
Again, I just love the way Lloyd Webber occasionally underscores the Phantom's lines with the old from the original title song. Just adds so much coolness. He should add that to everything.
What a dreadful town! What a vulgar place!
Love is not always beautiful.
Bathing beauty on the beach. Bathing beauty, say hello.
Next up we have a song called Dear Old Friends, which seems to be the show's equivalent of Prima Donna. And it's one of the few humorous songs in the show. Basically, Meg bumps into Christine. Meg makes a show of being bestest friends again, but secretly she's insanely jealous and threatened by Christine's presence.
My sweet old friend, never thought we'd meet. Old friends, look at you, a star, and you, a wife. And isn't life a splendid thing? And here we are, to see the sights and sing. To sing, and of course as a treat for my son. Meg, meet Gustav. Well, who hired you to sing here?
It can't be you. This is a jest. How can this be? We've come to work. At whose request? The contract's here.
I want to see.
Whoa, since when were Raoul and Madame Giry sworn enemies? I thought the last time Raoul met Madame Giry, she sort of helped him find Christine, and gave him that helpful advice about keeping his hand at the level of his eyes. Advice he totally ignored, idiot.
Him?
That's what I said.
You work for him?
Now so do you.
Owned!
I'm afraid there must be some mistake. You can't be performing. Why? Mainly, dear, 'cause so am I. I'm in fact the star, for heaven's sake.
Oh yeah, of course, because you can't have more than one singer in a vaudeville variety show, can you? Learn to share, woman.
Why would they come?
Why won't they go? My dear old friends, come leave your heroes.
Speaking.
Now while this happy reunion's going on, Christine and Raoul, the ever-dutiful parents, totally fail to notice that the three freaks are luring Gustav away by showing him this little shiny thing.
Who are you? Where are you taking me?
The soundtrack has a little scene where Gustav is introduced to the freaks, but it's been cut from the show, which I think's a shame. I sort of like the kind of dark carnival feel that Lloyd Webber was building here.
Come along and follow us.
Come and follow faster.
Come along and follow us.
Come and meet the master.
It also means we don't get to hear Squelch say, "The mighty Squelch," anymore. That sucks.
The mighty Squelch.
Where are you taking me?
We're taking you up. Up, where he takes the cast-off scraps and unwanted things.
And turns them into objects of wonder.
Like us.
So yes, so now that scene's gone. Instead we see a video projection of the giant tower where the Phantom has his workshop.
If it's dark he wants to see, then dark is what he'll get.
Now, this is one seriously cool workshop. It's filled with these sort of half-completed mechanical creation, including, and I kid you not, there's like a table with a woman's legs that walk around. The top half is just a standard table. The bottom is a pair of fully functioning female legs.
This is my realm, illusion's domain, where music and beauty and art.
To this day, I have no idea how this was done. If there was a woman inside it, she was one hell of a contortionist, because there was nowhere for a head to fit that I could see. So Gustav plays on the Phantom's piano.
Go on.
I think it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful notes.
You'll soon notice that beautiful is one of Glenn Slater's favourite adjectives.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. The song was beautiful. It sounded beautiful, and it felt beautiful, and I felt beautiful.
Alright, enough, we get it. That's not even half of them, by the way. Back to the scene. Gustav's playing sets the Phantom's mind racing.
This boy.
Wow, this boy, he's a genius. He can play a simple melody on the piano, and so can I. He seems to like music. That's a coincidence, so do I. And he's just 10 years old. 10 years old! Now hang on a minute. According to Beneath a Moonless Sky, Christine shagged the Phantom the night before she was married, when presumably she also shagged Raoul. So the fact that Gustav is 10 years old is totally irrelevant. It could just have easily have been Raoul's. The Phantom seems to be basing this whole premise on the fact that Gustav is musical. But perhaps, just perhaps, it might be because his mother is an opera singer, and his grandfather is a famous violinist, maybe? Short of a DNA test on Jerry Springer, I don't see how this can be conclusively resolved. But let's not worry about that now, because I'm about to go to my happy place. I freaking love this next scene. Gustav goes exploring, almost discovers the wooden robot replica of his mom, which would have made for an awkward moment. So the Phantom is like, hey, leave that alone, and go and play with this instead. So he takes him over to this giant music box, which is partially covered by a cloth. He rips the cloth off, and we see a giant freaking mechanical gorilla with a skull's face that plays the organ with its freaking monkey feet. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in a Phantom adaptation. I mean, holy crap, just look at it. It's made of awesome. And so is this song. This is a controversial Beauty Underneath.
To go past the world you think you know, been enthralled to the call of the beauty underneath. Have you?
Now, I'm sure I'm in a serious minority here, but I absolutely love this song. The first time I heard a sample of it, I thought, what the hell was that? It reminds me of the old Steve Harley rock version, but it seriously grew on me.
Things no one would ever guess.
I just love everything about it. Well, almost everything.
Yes!
Do you find
I don't know which musical director thought that Gustav saying yes in a semi-orgasmic state was appropriate, but it really interrupts the awesomeness. It makes the whole thing come across as this sort of paedophile song. If you listen to the words about how the Phantom is going to show this little boy the hidden beauty underneath, it's all a bit disturbing. But no, let's not think that way. We're in a happy place, right? Oh, I should point out that in the stage version, Gustav no longer cries out in that erotic voice. He simply sounds like a little boy who's having his mind blown by this menagerie of mechanical awesome, which is exactly as it should be.
It seems so beautiful, so strange yet beautiful. Everything's just as you say.
There's some amazing stuff on display. Apart from the mechanical gorilla, there's this big angel thing with giant rotating wings, a golden chandelier made up of faces that sing along with the song, while Medusa-style snakes wriggle around them. There's a robotic Mr. Squelch that has this alien hand that bursts through his stomach cavity and shakes Gustav by the hand. It just has to be seen to be believed. I just think this song rocks. It reminds me a bit of that Oingo Boingo song, Insanity. Yes, I admit this song is totally balls to the wall, mental and out of place, but no more so than the original Phantom song. And while I think that Gerard Butler and Joel Schumacher were horrendously miscast for the original movie, I think Gerard Butler's rocky vocals would suit this song. I'd love to see what Joel Schumacher did if he directed a Beauty Underneath sequence with giant animatronic monkeys and flashing lights and all this craziness. It'd be right up Joel's alley. The whole point of this sequence is the Phantom is trying to get Gustav to accept his own deformed face. It's really quite exciting. The tension builds and builds until the song reaches its, climax.
You can feel it, come closer.
Okay, Gustav, I know it's cool, but calm down.
You can face it.
Please, settle down. Stop doing that, please, Gustav. Oh no, it's turned into Simon Zealot's out of Jesus Christ Superstar.
You get the power and the glory, to the splendor and the glory, to the truth of the beauty underneath. You'll accept it.
Jeez, kid, calm down. It's not that exciting.
Let me show you the beauty under.
So the Phantom unmasks himself, hoping that Gustav will accept the beauty underneath, but of course he doesn't. What did you expect? Gustav runs away screaming, "It's horrible! Horrible!" Because obviously Gustav is a Cockney chimney sweep. I have to say the makeup in this is amazing. It's the same basic design as the original stage version, but it's a lot more wrinkly, and it looks like he spent 10 long years picking at it.
That's never gonna heal if you don't stop picking.
So Christine shows up, and even she's horrified by the face after all this time. The Phantom is really angry with Christine and demands to know if the child is his.
Don't make me.
I want the truth right now, if so.
And of course Christine admits it. I don't know why, but I always find this exchange here quite touching. I love the crushed emotion in Ramin's voice. So, the Phantom vows that Gustav shall have everything he owns. But unfortunately, someone is listening. It's Madame Giry! Oh no!
If that bastard had never been a
End of Act 1. Time to stretch our legs, go to the toilet, and if you're watching this show in the Adelphi, I recommend you try the Bailey's ice cream. It's awesome. I'll see you next time when we'll be looking at Act 2. Bye for now.